film come your way to begin with? Were you approached with the story? Did you guys read the book and think it'd make a great movie?
Both. Kevin Misher, our producer, had the book and he gave it to us. And Anna read it first, and I'd hear her laughing a lot as she was reading the book, and then I read it, and we thought this could be a really fun movie, sort of in the tradition of the John Hughes movies that we loved growing up. It'd be something different for us that we could have a lot of fun with, and that audiences would also have fun with.
And how closely did you work with the author?
Not very close at all. Ned is very understanding, and he got that this is a movie, and he's a novelist, and even though it's his story, I think that we tried to capture the spirit of his book, and even though we changed some things around, he's been very supportive, and he saw the movie, and he's our biggest fan, I think.
Was he ever present on set, or did he have any input in the script before you started shooting?
He didn't have any input in the script, but I think he was supportive of it. And he did come to set. He came to set a few times, just kind of observed, had fun, met the actors. He's a really enthusiastic guy, and he was excited about the whole process.
And how'd you guys approach this type of material to begin with? We know there's a fine line between insulting people and joking about an issue, so did you ever feel like you were crossing that line?
No, I mean, we really let the characters that Ned encountered, I mean, his book is very loosely autobiographical, and he encountered some of these people, and I think he did a good job in the book of not making fun of them, but treating them as fleshed out human beings, and we just tried to do the same in the movie.
So now talking about the specifics of the movie, what was it like trying to incorporate those flashback scenes? I know sometimes in movies they can be just thrown in there, kind of take you out of the whole story. So what was the process trying to incorporate those?
A lot of the flashbacks come from earlier in the book. Ned Vizzini spends a significant amount of time, hundreds of pages, before Craig gets into the hospital. And we felt like using the flashbacks and taking some of that material and putting it in the middle of the movie would be a good way of breaking up the monotony of the location, and also a really fun way of having some subjective headspace and using some different kinds of cinematic flares to get inside the subjectivity of this teenager. And it felt pretty natural, just based on the way that Ned had framed the book, and kind of these long whimsical passages going into Craig's head and kind of learning how his mind works and how he thinks. And we thought it was a fun way to kind of be able to use some of those passages and get us out of the hospital for a minute or two.
Speaking of getting out of the hospital also, what about the animation and going into Craig's architecture?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Again, inspired by the book, Craig learns that he has a talent for art in the hospital, and we thought, hey, we're making a movie, let's push that beyond just on the paper, and let's go and have some animated sequences. And Brian Drucker was the artist who created the actual art, but he's also an animator who animated these sequences as well, so he did a terrific job.
So what was the casting process like for this? Did you have anyone in mind after you read the book and then made the script?
No, we didn't have anybody in mind. We were looking for somebody fresh and young and just who felt like a real authentic teenager, not like a 25-year-old playing a teenager. So we didn't have a specific person in mind. We knew that we were just going to do a lot of auditions until we found somebody, and luckily we found Kier, who's awesome. And, we just kind of threw around names for Bobby, and when Zach came up, we were fans of his comedy. We liked what he did in The Hangover. We weren't quite sure how it would translate into this character of Bobby, who's much more grounded and has kind of more dramatic moments, but we met him for a few beers, and he convinced us that he had that kind of something in his personality that he could bring to the role, and he was excited to try to bring a little bit more of himself into something.
How did he convince you of that? I mean, just thinking of The Hangover, I look at him and I see Alan all the time. Did he have like an anecdote or, I don't know, even like old material to show you?
Oh, that's not exactly what I meant by convinced us. I meant more just like his presence. Like, he is such a warm, down-to-earth, charismatic, charming guy. He is so nothing like his role in The Hangover. So not like we made him do like a song and dance to convince us, more just like we sat with him and got a sense of who he was and thought that it'd be wonderful if he could bring that to the role, and he was excited to try that.
And it's interesting because most of the time you would think that, I don't know, you'd hand him a piece of the script and want him just to perform it, but just to get to know someone on a more personal level, especially with this kind of film, I feel like that'd be more effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we find that you can learn more from people in casual encounters than stuffy audition.
So what about some of the other roles? Because you, not only the two lead roles, but you guys have a pretty, pretty well-known cast here, from his parents, Emma Roberts,
Jeremy Davies, Viola Davis.
the list could go on and on.
Yeah, no, we have such a great cast. People really responded to the story, I think, and we got really lucky, got some really great people who we've been fans of for a long time.
Yeah, good cast.
Was there anyone particularly difficult to cast?
No, I mean, I think Keir has to, at the end of the day, Keir has to, carry the movie, and so I think we all knew that he was the most important person to find, and we looked for a while, and he came across his audition tape came across our desk. We don't really have desks, but it came across our DVD player, and he was fantastic in the tape, and then we met with him in Los Angeles, and he was just an even better person, and just a really solid actor.
So what was the atmosphere like on set with all of these people? I mean, was there ever a time where the whole group was on set at once? I'd imagine their schedules were probably impossible to coordinate.
Yeah, I mean, we had the group therapy scene, so that everybody's sitting in a circle, and we just had 3 cameras sort of in different positions, filming constantly. And everyone is so fun, and they're all very professional and so good at their jobs. And Viola Davis is a very serious actor, but they all had her cracking up, I think, at a certain point. And I think I probably messed up a few takes by laughing off camera too. Everyone really had a good time with this movie.
Any fun stories from the set?
Camera jiggle?
Yeah, I guess, just coming off of that, we had a handheld scene, and Zach just started riffing, and he was cracking everybody up. He was cracking everybody up at the table. He was cracking Ryan up, and then all of a sudden the camera starts to jiggle. He's cracking like the camera operator up. He couldn't even keep it straight. So
it's still in the movie. If you look at the movie again, you can see moments where the camera it starts to it's like it's gonna fall over, but it maintains its place.
So what's next for you guys now?
Just throwing ideas around. We don't really have anything specific to report, but
It's time to enjoy what you just finished also.
that's right.